Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I'm Mike.
I'm Jay.
And this is the Silver Bullet review.
Oh, one of my favorite movies of werewolves of all time.
Absolutely.
Loves it.
Absolutely.
Loves it.
Absolutely.
Shit.
And the reason that we're doing Silver Bullet is number one, because we have a tier on our Patreon where you can request us to do a specific review for you and our buddy Troy Couch, longtime subscriber, longtime Patreon. We love you, Troy Couch.
And he sits on the couch and he subscribes and we love him for that.
He has a cool name. Not only is he Troy of Achilles.
And that is why no one will remember your name. But by the way, I love that he actually did request this, because I watched this like about a month ago, and then Mike was like, hey, watch it again because we're going to do a review on it.
Yes.
It's still just as good, and you also get Gary Busey mid-crazy. Not all the way crazy where he's like, fine Gary Busey, mid-crazy.
It's the perfect level of Gary
Fucking
Busey.
Uncle Red is one of the best uncles of all time.
I spilled beer on my knee.
All that is cocaine and Folgers.
Silver Bullet.
By the way, gonna shout out one of the best fucking underrated actors of the film, the Reverend Everett McGillis. Great, love that dude. I loved him always. Yeah, Everett McGillis.
However you say it.
Something. He was great in The People on the Stairs. He's great in this. He reminds me of a slightly better looking Joe Bob Briggs, but like an uglier version of Bruce Campbell. Yeah. Like just right there. Yeah, it's kind of strange. He delivers the lines so well. And not just him, dude. This entire movie, this cast is fucking so good. This entire cast is great. It's got Corey Haim in it. Each one of their characters are memorable. Even the smallest ones are memorable. And it's one of my favorite werewolves movies, like, period.
And one of the greatest Stephen King adaptations that exists,
and he did the screenplay. Yeah.
And this kid, he's stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of his life. Yeah. You know, and he doesn't have a dad, and he has his mom. Gary Busey's the best character in the entire movie.
Great. I loved him.
He is the best character.
So relatable. I love the fact that he's drinking wild turkey, playing fucking cards with his fucking nephew, and they're betting like baseball, like Yankees, and he's like, we said no managers. You can't double step or triple step. Corey Haim is great, phenomenal, very disarming, cool kid. Definitely the 80s embodiment of that kind of time. And then when the werewolf strikes, it's fucking vicious. I mean, it's way more visceral than I actually, when I was a kid and I rented Silver Bullet. No, I didn't rent it. Somebody did. But I watched it. I was like, you know, the music itself disarmed me. So I wasn't prepared for the amount of fucking gore that actually occurs.
I think as far as werewolf movies go, it has the best love and the best character connections out of all of them. Yeah. But I will say that I think that the actual werewolf itself, I think this movie pales in comparison to some other ones.
Well, yeah.
The transformation, every werewolf movie you watch has to have the transformation scene. Yeah. It's expected. Every single one, what's your fucking transformation scene? And this is the one movie where they really don't have a good one.
Yeah, but if you were coming to me and I was the guy that was doing special effects, and you're like, dude, I just don't like the fucking transformation scene. I was like, well, did you need to get fucking Gary Busey? Have you seen his fucking paycheck, bitch? I gotta make cuts where I gotta make cuts. But it wasn't bad for what they did.
It was fine, but it pales in comparison to other werewolf movies. And Dino De Laurentiis was actually really pissed when he saw the werewolf. The producer of the movie, he was like, he wanted something way better.
But it still looks cool, though. They still look cool.
They did a good job of it, and where it works is that they really took Everett McGillis' eyes, and you could see his eyes in the werewolf, and they're really focused on the werewolf's eyes. So the werewolf wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't as good as some of the other shit that they've done.
You know what I really, it makes you so nostalgic for those kind of movies from the 80s and 90s where they really relied on practical effects, and they really, like, sweat balls and taint juice. Because nowadays, if Silver Bullet was made, it would just be a CG fucking goddamn fake-ass PS3 graphics fucking werewolf going...
And werewolf movies as a whole should be commended for the fact that the majority of them do not... They don't rely on CGI. It's all practical.
The character of Everett, or the Reverend, is so much more character, and you don't get that much focus on, and they did it perfectly, by the way. They built up each character in just the right amount, of time, screen time, but you don't get these, he wasn't relatable, but he was actually a fleshed out villain. Yeah. Like in a lot more ways than just a booger man that lives on the edge of the forest that waits for the full moon. He was really convincing as like this almost on the edge priest that is accepting of his condition but wants God to kill him, but is in his own psychosis, saying that he's doing them a favor by removing the one bitch that's going to kill herself, because if because they reminded me of his character in People Under the Stairs, where he was like, bad girls burn in hell.
hell.
And that was a genius mark, because there's one girl who's gonna kill herself because she's pregnant with a guy's baby and he doesn't want anything to do with
shit.
it.
Did you see that fucking scene?
He was like,
it may be your oven, but it ain't my bun. I was like, or do you got to shoot that in Kentucky?
She's about to kill herself, and then that's the first werewolf kill you get. But then later on, he explains it. Yeah. He's like, no. He was like, she was gonna kill herself, and he was like, that was the ultimate sin. He was like, I saved her from eternal damnation by killing her.
Dude,
that was fascinating.
When he was walking on the bridge and he was like wringing his hands, like your butthole was puckered up real fucking bad, because it was done so well to swell the dramatic moment when he was confronting Corey Haim's character Marty, and he was like, and now you meddling little shit. I was like, whoa,
so fucking good.
And then he was like, you're gonna have an accident over the bridge, motherfucker.
Thank God for old Mr. Toulahan with his fucking Cucamonga.
The only thing I ever I guess when I was a kid, I never I don't know. You better return that.
His tractor. What ties the story together for me though really is Gary Busey. He's such a fucking cool uncle.
Great guy.
He takes this kid's wheelchair and he turns it into a goddamn RV
motorcycle,
or not motorcycle. RV, yeah, like it's literally a mobile from the road.
That motherfucker gives him a Hell's Angel bike.
Yeah, and he's so worried about him. He's like, man, if you're gonna fucking wreck on that, your mom's gonna kill me. So just stay safe. And the dialogue between Gary Busey and that kid,
Corey Haim,
where he's like, look, man, I love you. He's like, I love you. I built this out of love for you. He was like, and if you hurt yourself, it's gonna kill me. Those little scenes, those little tiny moments, are what made Silver Bullet so fucking special, because you could feel his love for that kid.
You know what it is? It's the personal relationships that are fleshed out and developed in a lot of ways that you don't get with werewolf movies. Yeah. He's like, look, I don't want you to give up on yourself. You know, look, you got dealt a bad fucking hand. You're crippled, and it sucks. But at the same time, you can give up and be, you know, just somebody that just woes their existence, or you can be a guy that's like, I'm going to accept my existence and move forward. Because he was also kind of the I think they bonded. I think they were soulmates in a way, like as far as like, you know,
because he was broken emotionally.
He was broken, yeah, because his wife just left him, and it was kind of this whole fucking thing, and it was really touching. There's a lot, you know, this movie overall has heart, man. It has a lot of fucking heart, and that's why it stands out to me. It's probably my top. It's definitely my top 5 werewolf movies of all time, and I can watch it over and over again. It's a perfect movie. It's a combination of a perfect movie because of the building of the relationships between the characters. It's got a touching thing in it, but it's also a perfect movie because there's a lot of horror and gore and graphic stuff in it for Halloween. And actually, as a matter of fact, the final climactic scene takes place on fucking Halloween.
Yeah, it does.
You can't get better than that, Jim.
I do love the one scene where the redneck's like trying to watch wrestling, and he's like, yeah, smash him up, hurt him real bad. He's like, oh, that hurts my parts. he said that hurts my parts.
Oh, he's like, oh, here comes the rebel tornado. He's like, I'm gonna shove some. He's grabbing the gun off the thing. He's like, I'm gonna shove some salt up your ass.
But right before, when he's just trying to watch wrestling and drink his beer, the guy slams the wrestling guy down on the TV, and he was like, oh, that hurts my parts.
But that was cool, man. That back in the day, that movie came out in 1985, and they were showcasing the NWA. The new wrestling or something wrestling association. That's where, you know, Ric Flair. That's what it was back in the day, man. WCW and WWF really hadn't made a big impact yet, and that's what it was. And it was a Saturday night, and they got to watch. That was fucking cool, man. And then he had the little tiny fucking baby bottles of Budweiser that he was drinking constantly. And then like he's such a perfect redneck, because he's even when his daughter gives a kiss to Corey Haim, he's like, "Goddamn cripples, they're all gonna wind up on welfare. Might as well kill them all." Like, he's a perfect bad guy.
And another thing this movie does really, really well is the emotion from the characters. Like the guy whose son dies, when he goes into the bar,
great.
And they're all fighting over whether or not the sheriffs can actually do anything. And John Locke from Lost is in the movie, by the way. He's an awesome actor. He's also in The Stepfather. He's a really good actor. But he's the town sheriff. And
he was the stepfather. He was great.
And the whole town decides to get together, and they're like, it's like Halloween 4. They're like, we're gonna do some militia treatment, and then they go out into the fucking woods and they all die. And dude, the best part of the entire movie for me is actually Everett McGillis' his dream that he has, his nightmare.
Oh, dude,
where he's
I love that. That was fucking great.
Fucking starts turning into werewolves.
Do you know what
that
that was like?
Dope as fuck.
Do you know what that was like? That's like when you're trying to defend Batman versus Superman as a good movie, and all the fucking Marvel fanboys come out and they look at you with hatred. But no, it was an amazing scene, and that bar scene
was so cool.
The bar scene specifically, what you're talking about with the guy talking about his dead son. Man, I wish something like that had existed in Halloween 4. You don't have the police force! I wish something like that would have existed in Halloween 4.
That would have been perfect.
The teary eyes, and he was something like, you go and dig my son up and tell him about private justice.
Yeah.
I was like, God damn, that's fucking good. That's solid. And he's like, I'm going to go out and hunt me up some private justice. Dude, that would have been... Can you imagine if they had at least included some kind of scene like that about one of the victims of Michael and getting that mob together and then going out to hunt Michael?
Yeah.
Great. And then, of course, the Reverend runs out. He's like, don't hunt me, bitch.
Watching it again and knowing that he's the werewolf, he's like, please stop.
He's like,
please stop.
Because I don't want you to catch me. There's a lot of you fucking rednecks.
Don't do this. The last thing I want to mention before we give our rating for it is the last ending scene where Gary Busey's there. And Gary Busey's character played that perfectly. Where he didn't believe the kid. Like, if he'd have just believed him, it would have been stupid. Because, like, you're going to believe in werewolves. But the way that he slowly started to believe the kid, like, he wanted to believe him, but then he saw the paint on his fucking, on the silver bullet. All that shit.
The scar.
And then he's sitting there, and he's sitting with the kids, and he's holding the silver bullet. That scene was badass. When they built the silver bullet, that was cool as shit.
Did you not, like, also, real quick before we get back to what you were saying, the part when he gets the bullet made, and the guy was like...
That's what I was just saying, yeah.
Oh, the guy...
When he builds the silver bullet
maker?
That was dope.
Dude, because he was like... Because you could tell that motherfucker's seen shit.
Yeah.
And he was like, because I don't know what you use a silver bullet for, is what Gary Busey's like, I don't know, maybe to kill a werewolf.
Yeah.
It's like, that bitch is the scary German dude from fucking Monster Squad.
And they had a cool ass throwback almost to like Nightmare on Elm Street where he's building the glove. Because they show that scene where he's like building the bullet.
You hear the girl narrating, and she's like, he was an old weapons master.
Dope as fuck.
Fucking shit,
But then the ending scene where he's cool enough of an uncle to sit there in this house to like send his parents away, and he's sitting there in the house, and he's passed out, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. He's like, you know what? Fuck this. He's like, you fuckers. He's like, I'm having a real familiar feeling here. I feel like a jackass.
And I had to pay money for your parents to go away.
Yeah, he's like, go to bed. And then, dude, Gary Busey's fear in those scenes, the way that he parlayed, like, not really believing it, but kind of believing it. And then when the werewolf started showing up, he was so fucking scared, man. He was so fucking freaked out. That was a really great acting
scary
performance.
shit. If you see a big old giant fucking wolf man
he was literally you or me or any of us in that situation trying to protect young kids. He was scared.
I remember when we were kids, it was always the coolest thing ever to have a cool uncle or just an older person like that was Gary Busey's age or around that would let you stay up late with them and like hang out, watch horror movies, especially on Halloween, and they just spent their time with you. Like, it was a lot of like nostalgic and just kind of like, for me anyway, when I was watching that scene, I was like, man, I get that. Like, how cool it would be when you're Corey Haim's age or even his sister.
It's like Monster Squad where the dad sits on the roof and watches the drive-in.
It really pulls you into the scene. It's like, man, that would be fucking great. And he lets them stay up probably way past their bedtime, probably 3 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the morning. And that's always cool. And then he's like, oh, this is all fucking bullshit. And then that scene happens. It's a great scene. I think it was a little cheesy after Everett was or the Reverend was shot like another fucking time in the eyeball, and he still goes, "Whoa!"
That scared me, actually.
It did.
That actually scared
me. It was a great jump scene, but I was like,
because the way he reverted back, I was like, "Ooh, motherfucker, you look nasty."
Yeah, I was like, dude, that's what I got. Like, I muted the fucking TV.
And he looked
because he was all gray and shit. I'm like, don't fucking do it, because I was staring real hard because I was looking at the makeup effects and stuff, and I was like, please don't ruin it for me. I just want to examine how well you did, because he was all great, but then
look good.
A wonderful ending, a really good ending, and I even like I got a little almost when she was like, I always had a problem saying I love you.
Yeah.
And then she's like, but I can say it now, I love you, Marty, and good night.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's how you end a fucking movie good, on werewolves, bitch.
It was good.
It was so cool, man.
And Gary Busey's the greatest uncle of all fucking time.
Uncle Red is great.
No doubt.
So
I'm at an 8.5.
Yeah, dude. I'm almost there. I'm a 9.
Yeah.
I like that movie a little bit better than you, just because it's one of my favorite werewolf movies of all time. The transformation scenes aren't as good. The werewolf itself is not as good.
Yeah.
But the characters, man, the heart, the storytelling, all of that stuff is one of the best werewolf movies I've ever seen, and it's also one of the best Halloween movies you can watch in October.
Yep, you said it, man. You said it best,
That's
brother.
it.
You said it best. Troy Couch, thank you. You're an awesome fucking dude. Thanks for being a Patreon. Thanks for supporting us. Thank all you Patrons for supporting us, making this channel what it is today. We love you guys so fucking much. The best in the best. You gon' get it.
Oh, shit.
You gon' get it.
You're gonna pop your oho out.
You gon' get it.
Oh, damn.
And let fuck faces new channel. Click the subscribe button. Get some goddamn ramp in it.